Tonight I'm going to make pork loin chops that have a garlic cream sauce. They have shallots, thyme, sherry, and mushrooms in them. On the side I'm going to do green beans that have an orange bell pepper in them to make them a little bit more colorful. For your starch you could do tricolored potatoes, just cut them up, toss them with olive oil and do them in the oven. Or I'm going to show you a neat way to do cauliflower that really is awesome, doesn't taste like cauliflower at all. That's my favorite for the side. I do this recipe all the time and I love it. Start with your pork chops in the skillet with just a little bit of salt and pepper on them. You're just going to brown them at first and then I'll show you what to do with them. As you start browning your pork, put your potatoes in. I toss them with a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper. And they probably are going to need to go in a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes. Wash 8 ounces of mushrooms, and I sliced up any of the larger ones so that we just have a nice array of smaller ones like this. And then I washed and sliced the orange bell pepper, and you're going to need about a teaspoon of thyme. So take your sprigs of thyme and pull them downward, pull the leaves off downward. I'll give you another one. Like that. Hold it from the top. Pull the leaves. To make the sauce, take 4 tablespoons of butter, put them in a saucepan, get them melting, and put your 8 ounces of mushrooms in there. You want to get them tender. I'm going to mince some of the thyme up to make 1 teaspoon's worth of thyme. You just don't want any full leaves and you don't want any stems in there because this is really going in the sauce. It's not strained out later. There's the stem right there. I'm getting it out of there. Now you're going to mince your shallot, and if you haven't already, I've already minced my 3 cloves of garlic by just putting them through a garlic press. I'm going to mince the shallot very finely minced. So first I'm just chopping it finely, and then I'll go back through and mince it. If you don't have a shallot, some people believe you can use an onion. I just think the shallots are so much more kind of a garlicky taste added to the onion taste. They give it a special taste, and I think it's definitely worth going out and getting a shallot if you don't have one in your pantry. Once your mushrooms are tender, add a half cup of sherry. The recipe calls for dry sherry, and it does make a difference. 1 teaspoon of minced thyme. 3 cloves of minced garlic, and your minced shallot. You're going to want to reduce this to about half of the liquid. So reduce over medium. When it's reduced, we'll add a half cup of heavy whipping cream. Okay, I'm going to saute my green beans now. I'll put a little bit of olive oil in here. They've already been steamed in the microwave. These only took 4 minutes. I am going to saute them with the orange bell peppers. Not a whole bell pepper, I think it only needs about half. I just saute them long enough for the bell pepper to get tender. Once the sherry is reduced, stir in your 1/2 cup cream. It's heavy whipping cream. And keep stirring until it's reduced even a little bit more and you've got, a sauce consistency. Then top your pork loin with a little bit of your mushroom cream garlic sauce. And I just put my bell peppers like that on the green peppers because I thought it looked pretty. And then I also have these almonds. They're for salads. They're roasted garlic Caesar almond slices. And I like to throw a few of those on top of the green beans as well. Then, like I said, you can either have your roasted potatoes from the oven on the side or the cauliflower. This is a way to make cauliflower where it doesn't taste like cauliflower anymore. It kind of tastes nutty. What you do is you slice the florets so that they're flat on either side, and they're about this thick right there. Now, naturally, when you cut the florets, you're going to have some end pieces that just kind of crumble, and you can go ahead and brown those too. They're just not going to be as pretty as the flat ones. So you're going to need some olive oil and butter, and put a little bit in your skillet on the stove, or a pan on the stove. I'm using an electric skillet because you can fit a lot more in there. So you're just going to put them in there, and you're going to brown them on either side. After you've browned the florets on each side for about 5 minutes, they will be done and tender, and you just drain them, and they're ready to go. You'll be surprised at how nutty and wonderful they are, and they definitely don't taste like cauliflower.